This was bringing people together of different faiths, different colors, different orientations. It just across the board, it was a message of love. And I think it was really an important thing to do. Mindy Corcoran is a woman who lost her father, Dr. Corcoran, and her son, Reet Underwood, in this senseless shooting. And rather than let it be a tragedy, she wanted to remember them in a way that would say that this act didn't win, that love wins, that and they are members of the church that sponsored part of it too, the Church of the Resurrection Methodist Church. And she just wanted their legacy, their deaths, not to be forgotten and just listed as a tragedy and be a media moment for the man who killed them, which I think he really wanted that notoriety. And rather than him getting the notoriety went to people, and people who came together regardless of their differences. In the line of people holding hands with me in this walk were Muslim. In this particular instance, it was Muslim women in the headscarves, completely in there were Jewish people in their yarmulkes and prayer shawls. The men were in their prayer shawls, and Christian people and gay people, and it was an amazing show of support for a family who lost. The actual day was very surreal for me. I got out of the car and I saw the people that had already been shot. I saw somebody yelling, "Call 911," and the car pulled up. And when he pulled out the gun, my first thought was, really? That's the only thing that could go through my head. Somebody is pointing a gun at me. And it wasn't till he shot 3 or 4 times that I actually laid back in the car. I was stunned. I was stunned that somebody was shooting at me. And I think when I laid back in the car, he thought that he had gotten me. So it was a horrible event, but it was an event that led me to step up my faith and to step up my kindness in the world and to step up my praying for people who do these kinds of things, because nobody is born hating. And I understand that some of it is mental illness and some of it is desperation. But this was right out hate. And who taught this man to hate? Somebody taught this man to hate. And because, like I say, I don't understand. I don't understand how you can hate that deeply. I think prayer can't change it. I hope he finds redemption. I hope at some point he understands that what he did was evil. And I wish salvation for him. And I know there are people that struggle with that, people that say he doesn't deserve salvation. But that's why Jesus died on the cross for us. And I can never decide for God who judges and how he judges and who gets into heaven and who doesn't get into heaven. I just know he's a loving God, and I just know that people can find redemption. The nicest compliment I think I got as somebody in the arts and somebody who is a Christian is from an atheist friend who said, "I like you because you don't preach your faith, you live your faith." And I was very humbled by that, because I don't always think I live my faith. Because, well, I'm not perfect. But it was nice to see that somebody saw in me that I wasn't out to tell them they're wrong about their beliefs, but I want to tell them why I believe. And rather than tell them why I believe, show them why I believe. Show them, and it all boils down to kindness. And I so many times lately, people have said, it says love your neighbor, but you don't get to choose your neighbor. Okay? It doesn't say love your neighbor unless they're black, unless they're Hispanic, unless they're gay, unless they're just like you, then you don't have to love them. It just says love your neighbor, and we don't get to choose who that neighbor is. And I think Jesus was very clear about that. No, he found the people who needed. In fact, even one of his disciples, you've read it, he killed Christians. So that's why I have to think that this man that did this horrible thing is forgivable. It will be hard to forget. In my small town suburban life, seeing, I don't know any way to say it, with a man with his head blown off. It's the thing that gave me nightmares for months after the incident, but yet what stuck in my head through all of that is forgive your enemies. It couldn't have been a better sermon for me before this event ever. And it's just so important. Because I think hate can eat you alive. And I need to be a dad. I need to be a husband, and I need to teach my son and live in a way that my son can be proud of me.